Greetings, everyone. David J Coon with Qigong Awareness vlog number 51. Continuing this little three-part series, part one, part two, part three, because I wanted to break it up because, again, I have a lot to say about this particular subject. Can Qigong heal? Yes, absolutely. And in this particular vlog, I told you in the last vlog that I was going to discuss chi on this hand, and over here, I was going to discuss hormones. Okay? All right. So, if you haven't checked this book out already and you want to know about healing yourself, all of my written material and so on is not in this. I have an entire certification program that's online. In fact, it's literally a 300-hour program to become a Qigong instructor and a medical Qigong practitioner. And do you need certification in the United States? No. And yet at the same time, without certification, no one's going to come to you and you're not going to have any training to offer anything to anybody. So, in the same way, as I discussed in some of the last vlogs, a karate instructor does not need a certification to practice karate in the United States. He can call himself a black belt tomorrow if he wants to, but how far is he going to go in his business? Probably not very far. Anyway, you get the idea. But my point is, there is some written material here that's very important, but I also have a lot of written material that goes with the online courses and the exercises that I teach. I spend some time giving some basic Qigong exercises in the book, but I give a lot of philosophy and a lot of practices, what I call mindfulness, and what is in general called mindfulness, and what I call literally like mind, exercising mind over your energy, exercising mind over your body. And some people think when they read my book, they don't give it enough time or they don't know me as a teacher, they immediately go, "Oh, it's a book on positive thinking." It's not about positive thinking. It's about what you do over energy, what you say over your energy, and how you influence your body and turn certain things on in your body and turn other things off. Okay. And this is something they're discovering with genetics these days. It used to be like, oh, your parents had that, so now you're going to have that. And now what they're starting to discover with this thing called epigenetics is that genes get turned on and genes get turned off. So you can have a gene for heart disease get turned on, but guess what? You can also have that uh, gene turned off. And guess what? One of the things is that turns off these genes. Now, there are probably some studies out there demonstrating that Qigong does this. I just don't know of them right now off the top of my head. I have seen some of this, but I'm not going to reference those right now, except in general. But I will say also in general, one of the things that does this is guess what? Exercise. Well, Qigong is a form of exercise and it has a benefit to some of the other exercises because you could be injured, you can not be well, you can have, you can be in a bad mood, you can have depression, you can have anxiety. You don't even have to leave your house. Basically, just about anybody can do Qigong and it's good for you and it does not take as much as running or swimming or any of these other kinds of things. Now, take this for what it's worth from somebody who's an athlete, been an athlete since I was a kid. But when I got run over by the trailer, injured spinal situation, told that I'm going to be crippled by the time I'm 30 years old, I had a very, very difficult time exercising. Very, very difficult time. Qigong got me through. It helped me to go on and also do other forms of exercise. So some people will say to me, well, then, David, because you did other forms of exercise and you did martial arts and you did meditation, how do you know that Qigong healed you? Right? Qigong is, on one hand, a very specific thing, but Qigong also means the skilled cultivation of universal life force or energy. When you're somebody like me that has studied a vast amount of Qigong, medical Qigong, also trained in some various yogic breath work and things of that nature fairly extensively. Trained in shamanic practices, which happen to be part of medical Qigong. Trained in the psychic arts, if you will. also part of medical Qigong and various forms of healing work and so on. None of that happened for me in the middle of running, swimming, biking, or even doing martial arts. It began happening when I started practicing meditation, looking into certain energy pathways, or just having certain treatments done on me, okay? And then going and practicing certain Qigong exercises. And then, bam, I hit a tipping point and literally Qi runs through me like a great river, okay? And I've been talking about it ever since. So, one of the things that I realized when I was studying over here Eastern medicine and over here studying Western medicine, and again thinking I'm going to go to school to be a medical doctor at the time, at least that was the plan. And again, psychology degree, supervisor in a hospital, uh, counselor, therapist, offering treatment groups, go back to school, study molecular cellular biology for 3.5 years. Prior to that, emergency medical technician training. So I'm studying all this stuff from the Western side of things. Okay. And again, martial arts, Qigong, meditation, psychology, Eastern philosophy, all over here, right? So in the middle of studying all that, and I haven't healed myself yet, let's just say, leading up to that tipping point, and actually I had healed myself, I back up, I had healed myself of the spinal disease. I am now studying molecular cellular biology. And in studying molecular cellular biology, it hit me, bam, like fireworks when I started studying the endocrine system. When I started studying the endocrine system and I began to see what the endocrine system was about, and for those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you a very brief version about the endocrine system and hormones, because typically the only thing that we hear about hormones is like we say, oh, this woman is on her period, or we hear about a guy who has like low testosterone, okay, and he's taking TRT to build up his muscles and so on, whatever. So these are hormones, but hormones are cell to cell communicators, and they literally communicate from head to toe, and they deliver messages to your cells all the way down to the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, that literally is the blueprint for life in your body. That's what DNA is. Okay. Hormones are the things that deliver the messages. So, in general, and somewhat specific or a little more specific, does chi deliver the message to the DNA? Well, chi in general means energy. But when we get into Eastern medicine and we get into Eastern science, if you've ever seen like an acupuncture doll, or if you've ever seen yogic practices and there's a chart with all of these chakra centers, we have meridians, we have chakra centers. This is the internal labyrinth of energy that runs in and around and through the body. Okay, there's a lot to be known about it. In the same way that the veins in your arms and your legs and so on run through your body to deliver blood. These meridians deliver chi. These chakra centers are creating fields of energy, just like the field related to the heart, just like the field related to the brain, and just like the field related to what we call lower dantian, or in Japanese martial arts, it's called the hara. Hara. Okay. They don't always say it like that, but you use the hara to punch, kick, do different kinds of things, different types of breath work. So it's called the hara. The R, it's Hara, but the R is pronounced like a D. All right. What does this have to do with hormones, David? Well, dancing around a little bit, we have a hormone called the happy hormone called serotonin. This is the hormone associated with happiness at one of them, and this is something that the drug Prozac stimulates in the body. And the question is, do we have the ability to produce some of these hormones without drugs, medications, etc.? And the answer is yes. Not everybody can do it because not everybody's going to practice Qigong, but can Qigong, can Oriental medicine, can yogic practices, even exercise can do it. But I could not heal my spine through simply martial arts practice. I couldn't heal my spine simply through basic meditation. I tried. I couldn't heal my spine through basic Eastern philosophy of chanting. Um, Although I'm a fan of chanting, I couldn't heal my spine through that method alone. So I kept getting more and more specific, more and more what I'd call scientific. I needed to understand the inner workings of the body. I needed to understand how breath came together with carbon dioxide, with nitrous oxide, now they're discussing, and so on, new factors and new things coming into play. But I needed to understand all of these things. And one of the big ones, and the flash, was hormones. And I came to realize as I was looking at the chakra charts, okay, I started, if you've never seen that, like the chakras that sit on the head with colors, the whirling vibe in your heart and your solar plexus and so on. Some of you may remember the story of me talking about when I healed my spine that my heart chakra opened. I wasn't even totally sure what a heart chakra was. My heart chakra, boom, and my it was just amazing. It was an ecstatic, orgasmic experience that had me floating for a while and led to the healing of my spine. What I found out later was that these chakra centers sit in the same location as these sacs called glands that are holding these hormones, secreting them all over your body. So for me, not everybody's going to teach you this when you practice Qigong. Some people are just breathe like this, do this. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It was not enough for me to heal my spine. Some people, when they watch me, they go, why does this Caucasian guy keep talking so much? And why does he have these vlogs? And why doesn't he just like teach us how to shake our hands? Because it didn't work for me. 10 years of it, it didn't work for me. I had a very serious condition that I needed to heal, and I needed more information, and I needed a context in order to be able to heal myself. For me, and because I healed myself that way, that's how I teach it to other people. Not everybody needs that, okay? If you don't need it, good for you. Fantastic. If you can ever take a shortcut quicker than the one I give you, by all means, please take it. Simultaneously, for me, we want to hit this from different angles and scientific perspectives, that both from Eastern and Western, so that we actually have an opportunity to do it. Okay. Because for a lot of people, it's not easy, just like me. It's not easy. And then we have to resort to medications and surgeries and all of these other things, which really, for me, should only be a last resort. When we need it, we need it. But if we can heal it ourselves, better to do it. Even antibiotics, for example, if you could heal yourself without the need for antibiotics, then when you actually really, really got sick, the antibiotics would work better because you wouldn't have resistance to the antibiotics. So there's a lot of reasons to grasp these kinds of practices and the knowledge of these practices. So again, I'm not going to go into all the details about it. I just want to give you a heads up and let you know that was the awakening and the realization that I had. Wow, chakras and endocrine system and glands and hormones, which deliver messages all the way down to the DNA to tell you your body the blueprint of whether your body's going to be healthy or not be healthy. Wow, they're located in the same area of the body. Well, I've spent the last many years studying that, looking at that, treating and working with, doing healing work with so many people. I literally have lost count. I don't know how many people I've worked on, but it's quite a few. And over the years, it's been an amazing experience, and I've been very, very curious, very, very interested to see how people's bodies respond during treatments and so on. And what I have come to discover is that there are particular patterns that lead to certain events, such as relaxation responses, sighing sounds, releases from the body, movement of saliva, movement of blood, movement of the lymphatic system, changing in temperature. All of these things coming back and being related to chakra centers, being related to specific meridians, being related to the brain, or the second brain, which is the area of the gut and the digestive tract. Yes, I'm a very intellectual guy. And if you work with me, whether it is in a group setting or you work with me in a private setting, or you work with me in the certification program, or you're watching the trainings that I teach, I'm merging Eastern science with Western science. We can then go get woo woo and we can literally go get high through our Qigong practices. Uh, but I want you to have a context because number one, like I said, without the context, it didn't work for me. As I began to get the context, that's how I've helped all the people that I've been able to help. So we have Qigong that we do in the park, but then we also have to have elements of Qigong and practices that we bring into our daily life. And then you might want to have some extra science so that you know if you're standing like a post in your backyard, which is a Qigong practice, and you're doing that, you might want to have some more information other than focus on this meridian and maybe that's it. Or focus on this and set the timer for 15 minutes and then next day see if you can do it for 16. There's certain processes that we want to look for because, in my opinion, if I don't give those to you, most people will not practice. For example, standing like a post more than 5 minutes one time. But with a little bit of science, a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of motivation, and then maybe we practice together in a group, you'll start doing it. If you do it, you'll see results from it. Leave you with one last story. There's a woman that I was teaching some years ago. She was in her 70s. She started practicing standing like a post. She couldn't do this for a minute. I mean, it was like it's a very difficult practice. It was for me when I first started at 25 years old. That's when I was first introduced to that practice. And it was like excruciatingly painful for me. But she went from being able to practice it for a minute or two to practicing it 20 minutes 3 times a week. I can't even tell you. That is super impressive. Like if you've never done that, I'm telling you, that is very, very impressive. But the her bone structure, her ability to stand up straight, the strength in her body, the confidence, the way she was breathing, everything changed. So these practices are fantastic, but I also want to give you a context. So stick around, tune in, check out some of the other videos. Keep diving in with me if you desire to heal yourself, because is it possible to heal yourself with Qigong? Again, the answer is yes. So where do you want to engage? Check out all the different things that I have to offer. Find a place. Either stay right here on YouTube for free or go over to the website and find a class that we offer, a weekend seminar that you can take for $199 because it's on sale. And you can literally spend a weekend with me studying an entire program related to, for example, Qigong for healing back pain or Qigong for healing insomnia or some other subject that I've offered before. Lots of different ways to engage, guys. Dive in, including these 2 hour free programs that we offer like 4 times a year. Check it all out. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.